What up, what up, what up, world? It's your boy Jaystar back again with the full strategy show video, man, for week 7. About to get right into this week, man. Y'all already know how we do this. Going over injury reports, going over best matchups and things like that for stacks, and run backs and stuff like that. As I told y'all on the showdown this week for Thursday, I think I'm gonna do something different this week. Two things though, man, this week is kind of crazy for me. So, I just got a feeling that it's gonna be like what we kind of saw on Thursday. You know, like how it was like a shootout. Even with what I want to say, who was that? Andy Dalton throwing 3 picks right in the game. Like, you know, he still had one of his best games, which is funny. You know, as he threw 3 picks, almost threw for 400 yards. What about I think 5 touchdowns, something crazy like that. So something, you know, I just felt like looking at that game, like, and then noticing like the schedule this week, man. It feels like a lot of games could have that type of play and everything. Like it could just, run out just like that, like, and play out just like that is what I want to say, but so I just kind of want to like take a step back a little bit and not play so hard, because I could see this. I mean, if any of y'all play fantasy basketball and things like that, you know how fantasy basketball is. Like the scores is crazy, y'all. Like we look, it's more like 300 something points needed, to win it all and stuff like that, plus 300 and stuff, but it's always a week in football. At least I want to say about 2 weeks you get in the whole season, like, not counting playoffs, of course, but there's like 2 weeks where it's like a score is like close to basketball scores, what wins it all, and I feel like this is that week, y'all. So I'm just trying to be smart about that because, man, it's I know that means it's going to be a very, very tough week, y'all, like for everybody. So I just want to let y'all know that, like, just to give y'all, thought about, just to maybe take a second thought into this one, because all I'm trying to say is that basically I had to do different type of notes, man, and try to do something different this week. And if it plays out good, because I'm gonna probably be entering the lower contests things this time, like $3 and 50 cents and stuff like that. 50 cents definitely, because I want to play around a lot with these new notes that I want to do, and if everything works out perfect and I do still hit big or something, you know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be great for all y'all because, like, I'm gonna just go ahead and be the guinea pig in this, you know what I'm saying? And play my money out with this, you know what I mean? And like, if it don't work, then that's my bad. I don't want to give y'all this like information with these new notes that I'm doing until I see it really work. And then come, weeks after that, come Monday, I already be talking about like how it went for me and things like that. And if it went great, man, I'm gonna give y'all these type of notes from here on out. You know what I'm saying? So that way y'all can start putting in just like the way I'm doing, from there on out and start winning too, But I feel like this is like the perfect week to try out, something new, being that it should be like a crazy shootout explosion week, I feel like. So, and I just feel like you're gonna have to hit like perfectly, man. Like, I mean, like, I know you're supposed to hit perfectly every week, but it's usually a lot. I want to say it feels like a lot easier most weeks since it hasn't been any shootouts. We kind of was able to just, aim at a certain players and, you know what I mean? Like certain stacks. It was like you can kind of get it down to like 3 to 4 games, I feel like, every week. But this week it feels a lot harder than that. Like, I'm just telling y'all, like, straight up, it feels like it's a lot harder. Like, every game probably might have a person, that can really just go off. That's what it feels like. So, and maybe 2 to 3 people in certain other games, So, but I'm gonna get right into this, y'all, so y'all can start making y'all lineups in the best way possible. We do have injuries that's gonna help us out with narrowing down some of the biggest plays and things like that. So let's do this though. So we got Cleveland versus Baltimore here. We have an injury report here. We got the Denzel Ward is out again, and let me see, did they ever add a receiver here for this game? No, they still didn't add him because Deshaun Jackson signed with the Ravens. And I don't see him at all. So that's kind of crazy. I thought he would be in here. I don't know if he hasn't practiced enough or what. Like, but he signed with the Ravens this week. So I thought he would be in there. Rashad Bateman is playing. If he plays, because I see he's questionable still. But if he's able to go, man, he should have a really good game, I would think, because no Denzel Ward. I mean, like I told y'all, the stats for Lamar has been down, really bad since Rashad Bateman's been out. That's like all these games are without Rashad Bateman. Before this Rashad Bateman here, he was balling out, balling out of control. And I think not having him, be able to take the top off of the defense it's hurting Lamar. It's just making him be able to, kind of throwing it only to Mark Andrews and things like that. And, he doesn't really use Duvernay that much. And I'm pretty sure most teams probably double covering Duvernay and things, so that way he takes him out the picture. And then he really doesn't really go to Demarcus Robinson and them. Plus, they run a 2 wide receiver set here, so it works out better when it's Rashad Bateman and Duvernay. You guys got, both sides is just speed. So I don't really know about this game too much. It's gonna be I feel like a run game. So what I really do like in this game, I feel like that can hit huge, is gonna be Kenyon Drake. I really like the price, everything. I think Kenyon Drake could be an explosion play for here, because the RPO option with, being that you got to worry about Lamar running, and he's going to be able to run too as well. But I really think Kenyon Drake, we already saw him, have a really good game last week. But think he could be in play for a game just like this, or even better, really, going against Cleveland, because they give up the rush and possibly could get 2 touchdowns, goal line touchdowns. So I really think he's going to be the explosion play in that game. On the other side, though, I'm trying to think, because the running backs, man, let me see. Yeah, I don't think it's really the running backs really going to be in play here. It's supposed to be, who it's supposed to be is Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper is supposed to have a really good game, but we know how he is on the road. That kind of makes me not want to take him because of that. Like, him showing up on the road is not the same as the way he plays at home and stuff. Like, all these home games, you see near 20 points fantasy easily. But it's something about road games. I don't know why he doesn't show up, but we'll see. He has a good matchup. I feel like going against Baltimore. Yeah, you know what I mean? Going against Baltimore, he should get 12 targets. He should be able to get to 20s again, and get in the end zone. But oh man, like I said, that road, to home thing that he has going on, I don't know. But also Njoku, I feel like is a good play too. Should be able to continue to get, his normal amount of targets and things like that, and probably possibly get back to these teams and stuff like that, fantasy points this week. So I don't mind there, being a spot there, but definitely don't want the quarterback Brissett, even though I know this should be a good matchup for better quarterbacks, but Brissett just doesn't throw enough, y'all. So I can't take Brissett. He's not even just that he's not throwing enough. It's the fact that he really not completing enough. I'm looking for plus, 26 completions, and he not getting there. And then it's also he not getting the touchdowns either. So can't play him. So I'm gonna keep it moving here, y'all. We got Tampa and Carolina. Man, did Tampa just tank their whole squad? I'm literally just waiting for them to send the Packers DJ Moore for nothing at all. Just a pick that ain't even really a pick. You know what I mean? Come on now. Just go ahead and give us DJ Moore, for real. But Tom Brady, man, I had a whole feeling, I thought I said this on Monday, but I had a whole feeling that, Carolina would just destroy their whole team and put Tom Brady in play now, for a huge game, just because of the fact that Tampa Bay defense is good enough to shut down the Carolina with only one receiver. You know what I'm saying? They could just double him the whole game, and where are you going? Where are you going to throw the ball to now? They don't have Robbie Anderson. They don't use their tight ends. So it's just and now you got a running back that was explosive. So, oh my God, it's scary because I'm Tom Brady is looking for a get right, game. I know he's looking for a get right game. I was picking him back-to-back weeks right here and just did not come through. You know what I mean? Did not come through. And I'm just thinking this game could be that game still. I don't think I'm gonna do too many lineups with him just because there's a lot of other explosive games to me that he can. But I am scared of the fact that Tampa might get the ball back over and over and over. And Carolina does give a lot of fantasy points to receivers. So I just feel Brady's gonna want to get going with Evans and Godwin. Especially since Julio is out again. I thought Julio was going to be back, and I really thought this was going to be scary because if Julio was going to be there, I just felt like they was going to be easily going down the field scoring. But we have seen that Mike Evans and Godwin have been struggling. So, it's a gamble to take this stack here, you know what I mean? But it just feels like it could happen that way, being that this is a rivalry. They are going to really want to beat, Carolina Panthers and everything just to put them out of playoff contentions and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm just scared that Brady ends up being a sneaky go-off game for him just because of the fact that, I'm saying, Carolina, what are they going to do? They're going to just give Brady the ball, maybe in good field position over and over. That don't sound right, man. It don't sound good. So it's Fournette, it could be in play because we know the Panthers do give up rushing touchdowns and things like that. So yeah, it's just man, like I could just see Brady like sneakily being needed, maybe, you know. So just want to mention that because the other side of the game is nothing I would want at all. So um, we're gonna move on to this Atlanta Cincinnati, y'all. This game is a really good game, y'all. I really like this game. Mariota's been putting pressure on every team he's played, man, to continue to have to score. You know, his running ability is, you know, it makes the defense have a hard time, even though he gets sacked, you know, a few times and stuff like that in the game and things like that. But it's the same for Burrow. He gets sacked too. But this game just feels like a really good game, man. Like a really, really good game. Burrow coming off one of his best games, which I knew he was gonna be, you know, in a great game last week with New Orleans and everything. But coming off a 3 touchdown game, I think he's going to get 3 touchdowns again in this game, y'all. So I really feel like, you know, Burrow is a good play. Just this whole game, like I said, is a really, really good game. The only thing is it's hard to stack rushing quarterbacks with anybody really, to me, especially ones that don't really throw a lot at all. Like he's not throwing a lot, y'all. So you know the attempts ain't even over 30. Definitely not completing 26 plus completions. So it's hard to ever say like I would want to run back. I think I would just want to stack the Burrow side and just let it go from there. But like yeah, Chase Higgins, big in play to me. Kyle Pitts was supposed to be in play over here on this side, but it's just like I said, like the targets are just so low, man. It's hard. But Hurst is also in play too, though. So like he's big in play too. So for 3,500, I don't mind having Hurst too in that. So explosive play there, man. I just feel like they're gonna need to continue to score here. Another game where they're gonna need to continue to score. I feel like just, and it's probably not even going to be the fact that I really feel like Detroit is going to score a lot. I feel like Detroit scores 2 to 3 touchdowns, maybe at most. I feel like if Swift doesn't play, they scoring about 2 touchdowns. I feel like if Swift does play, they can score about 3 touchdowns. But you know what? It just to this game to me, because like I told y'all before, Detroit has that stat where they score a lot at home. Like you know their percent in the red zone at home is crazy, like crazy great. You know, but on the road, like I told you, it drops half. So especially though, like I said, if Swift is not there, I feel like they're gonna struggle, like really gonna struggle. So I give them 2 touchdowns because they're coming off a bye, and I know a lot of their receivers are still out, like DJ Chark. You know, of course the rookie hasn't back yet, but also who did I see? Is it? Oh, it must be that running back, huh? Yeah, the running back. Just Josh Reynolds. I thought he was out too, but I think Josh Reynolds might be out too. Let me see. Is it the running back or? Okay, no, yeah. So Josh Reynolds, I thought I saw something that he was out too. So, but so they're probably gonna have a hard time there. But at least they have St. Brown coming off a bye. I think fully healthy again. I think he's gonna be back in play for this game because that's his go-to target, anyways. Of course, he still has Hawkinson too as well, but being that St. Brown doesn't have to line up with Diggs, doesn't have to line up with the other cornerback that's on Dallas Cowboys too out wide, I feel like he's going to be the go-to target. I think we get back to this 12 targets, you know, for St. Brown in this game, which we saw 12 targets what he was able to do, you know, 42 and 20. I feel like he's going to be in that 42 to 20 range. You know, because it just feels like what I see in this game is what we saw in Thursday's game. I really feel like that's the kind of game we might see here with Jared Goff being in a position that Andy Dalton was in. I feel like he probably throws 2-3 picks in this game. Like I really think he will throw 2-3 picks. I think Dak is going to have a great game on his first game back. I do feel like they shouldn't make him throw too much, you know, but he threw 29 attempts the first game. He's going to throw probably more than that. I think he gets to about 40 attempts, even though I know a lot of people is trying to say, like, they shouldn't do that for him, you know, in his first game back. But I just think he might. It depends on the game. Like I want to say, it depends on how this game ends up going with the fact if Detroit is able to score and hang in the game early or something like that, because it's going to put pressure on Dak to continue to throw the ball, even though they can run the ball easily too on Detroit, you know. But it's just that I feel like Dak wants to throw the ball, man. He can't wait to get back out there. He always, I mean, if y'all saw the Hard Knocks last year when his shoulder was hurt, he just wanted to be out there to throw. He just wanted to throw just at practice. So I know he's going to throw still 40 something times. Like, and he's going to want to hit like a 3 touchdown to 2 touchdown game. And the funny part about it is like he's playing a team that plays too fast for their own good. and they're going to continue to play fast. Even when the second half comes, they play even faster in the second half because most of the time they're down. So, and I feel like they will be down. And the fact that they play that fast, though, it just continues to put pressure on the other team to have to score. So I don't feel like they just going to be able to run the ball the whole game. Like Dak is going to pass this ball. So that puts Dak in like the greatest position to have like a explosive fantasy point day, as well as if you, I mean, either one of these running backs is going to be kind of hard to take because Zeke could get, every goal line attempt rushed in touchdown. Pollard could break for a big one 2 times in this game just because how fast paced it is. Even with 11 to 13 touches, I feel like a game, something like this one right here, with even a touchdown though, could happen, which is going to put him about like 20 points. I see Zeke, to me, getting maybe two goal line rush attempts, but like I think his yards may be low. It may be low just because he's not super explosive, breaking big, long rushes and things like that. So I can see maybe he gets like 50, 60 yards, but 2 touchdowns, which is going to put him almost near 20 fantasy points. So it's hard to say who, really would be the better running back. I feel like yards wise, Pollard hits the 100-yard bonus and a touchdown, so maybe I would want to go there more. But at receiver, CeeDee Lamb, man, CeeDee Lamb is in for an explosive game to me, and I don't even mind Gallup. Like I think Gallup should be in play too. Huge, like for a nice 20-something fantasy point game. Like I feel like he's only been getting 7 targets, 5 targets. Yeah, I think like Dak is throwing 40 times at least, and maybe 40 plus. Like, and I feel like that's gonna be about 10 targets for Gallup. Like, and could be 100-yard game. Or a little bit under 100-yard game and a touchdown, something around there. But I definitely feel like he should be in for a really good game at 5,100. I think CeeDee Lamb is in for a great game because I feel like he's going to go to exactly what we saw the first game with 11 targets, to 12 targets. I just think more of them get caught. I think he might be at about, what I want to say, like 9 catches, something like that, with 100 yards and a touchdown. So I just feel like he lining up in the slot, not even lining up with like the best cornerback on Detroit, which they don't really have good cornerbacks anyway, but out wide is probably one of their best ones is there. But in the slot, nobody's good there. So I feel like CeeDee Lamb is in for a huge freaking fantasy day with Dak as well. Also like Schultz being, it's just funny how Schultz is coming back, healthy and everything now that Dak is back in the lineup because he knows that's his guy who throws in the ball a lot, as you saw game 1. Like, you know what I mean? Like he already knows. So I feel like he's back in play with an 8-target game and stuff like that, and probably a touchdown. So it's just, this game is just so fast paced, man. Like this is a very explosive game. Like I say, the run back to me easily is St. Brown. I mean, like I said, he has the easiest matchup. If not, Swift would have been in play if he was able to full go. The questionable kind of makes me not want to take him, but I feel like if he's ready, like he should be ready to go. They had a bye too and everything. So if he's going to play, I feel like he's ready to go. But definitely Swift and St. Brown feel like the best run backs to, roll in that game. It's just going to be so fast paced, man. Like should be enough scoring power for both sides, basically, to be able to roll it, running back and everything. But the Giants-Jacksonville game, let's see what we got here. Did I have any? Let me see. Oh, my bad. I wanted to say for that Atlanta game too. My bad. Meant to tell y'all the Atlanta and Tampa Bay game. Tampa Bay, the only thing is, I mean, doesn't really matter for Tampa Bay, but slot cornerback for Tampa Bay is out. Like I said, Carolina, I mean, their quarterback and everything and their receiver play is really bad. But Atlanta game, no, the slot cornerback was out too. So I think that bodes well for Boyd and also big. I feel like big for Chase since he was moving in the slot a lot just the last game when they played the Saints. So I feel like that puts Chase, even in bigger play because he's the one that's going to move around into that area. In the Dallas game, Detroit, full free safety is out. So deep down the field, probably somebody like a Lamb or Schultz, and then I would say Michael Gallup, since they're the ones that go deeper down the field. They're going to be in play for big games because of that. But definitely it'll be Gallup and Lamb first, of what I would say in that order. But then we go to this Giants and Jacksonville game. We got a cornerback on Jacksonville is out. Starting cornerback out wide is out in Griffin. So that would put in play some of the receivers. I still like, once again, Wan'Dale Robinson this week. Like I told y'all last week, I felt like he would probably get in for a touchdown. I didn't know how many yards he was really going to get. I expect his targets to go up now I'll tell you he's very shifty and very fast. So like just getting it to him out in space, 12, 15 yards, stuff like that. He can create something out of that. And I feel like he should be able to get way more targets this game. They still have a bunch of receivers that are out right here as you see. So definitely I feel like he should be able to get way more targets than what he got. I don't even know why. Like Slayton only had 3 targets. So I mean, also I do know Daniel Jones gets sacked a lot, so that probably is another reason why these targets ain't really as high as what you think they should be for receivers. But I feel like Wan'Dale Robinson should be in play. Definitely Saquon is going to be in play for Jacksonville. We know if you're rushing a lot of times against them, they eventually break. So I can definitely see you're going to run 22 times and things like that. Plus having the targets that Saquon is getting. Definitely feel like he should be able to get over 100 yards, maybe a touchdown in this game too as well. So, and then let me see. On the other side, Trevor Lawrence. I think it's going to be Christian Kirk because he has the best matchup over here. If anybody was to get off, it's Christian Kirk, and definitely though huge in play is Evan Ingram because the Giants are not good at tight ends. So I definitely think I know this is a revenge thing, and some people don't like it, some people do, but I definitely think Evan Ingram should be in for a big game. Hopefully his target is tight end appreciation day or whatever on Sunday too. So definitely I think he should get back to 10 targets or 8 targets and be able to have maybe a 20 fantasy point game, against his old team, and stick it to him and everything. But yeah, I think that's about it though, I would say, because the other side running backs, man, we don't know what's going on over here. ETN broke out a big run last week for 48 yards, but still, I feel like they should just let ETN take over and roll with James Robinson as the backup. I just feel like he's a pass catching back and he has explosive ability and run. I just feel like it works out better. I feel like that way. But we don't know right now. They're just doing sharing equally 10 attempts. That's not going to get it done for us. So then we're going to move on to the Colts and the Tennessee Titans game here. Both running backs is going to be in play on this game. It's so crazy to have to say that, but I mean, most people are not going to want to take the road, running back. But just the last time they played each other in this rivalry, Henry outplayed Taylor, but I know he did kind of get hurt in that game and everything. But Henry outplayed him on the road. Now he's at home, so it's going to be crazy to say because I feel like. Let me think. Let me see. We got Henry. So they're 10th place in fantasy points given up to running backs right now. For the Colts, so Henry should be in play for a big game, basically. Trying to see. I know definitely wouldn't want Tannehill just because he doesn't throw enough. It sucks with the tight ends because as y'all see, these rankings is very true. Like they give up mad fantasy points. We usually pick on the Colts every week, but and then Tennessee is also a team that can give up fantasy points to the tight end, and it just sucks because none of these tight ends is basically in play for me because we don't know which one to take. So we got to go to receivers and receiver side. Matt Ryan is in play. But it's something about I don't know. Like I feel like it's something about when he's at home. I feel like he plays better to me when he's on the road. As you see, Jacksonville 4 and then Denver with 8. Like I don't know if I really want to go to the well again and think he's about to come back with a performance like this again. I just don't. Got some weird reason, like I don't know, like I'm saying, like so far it's showing what the reason is. Like on the road 8-4, like he ain't even hitting double digit points. So, but it sucks because this is such a great matchup. Like, and for him to be able to pass the ball, having Jonathan Taylor back, I feel like they should have some type of run game. And coming off of a great game like he had, you would think Michael Pittman, Alec Pierce, all these people should be in play. Campbell, like he should be a really good quarterback. But like I say, something about on the road, I don't know, man. I just don't know what to expect out of Matt Ryan. But my favorite play, I think, in this game, though, for receivers, though, is Alec Pierce. I feel like he's a safer play. He's getting good targets right now. I already told you I liked him from the start of the season as a rookie. Like, I feel like he could become like a Cooper Kupp type player one day. Like, I really do feel that way about him. But as for now, getting 6, 9, 7 targets, that's really good. I feel like he might get another touchdown. It was great he got his first touchdown in the league as a rookie last week. I feel like that could happen again for him, but I feel like maybe he gets more yards just because how bad this team is. Like last time he had 80 yards. So I feel like he can probably hit over a 100-yard game this game. with a touchdown. So that gets you about 20 fantasy points there for 4,600. I really feel like he can explode for something like that. But that's about it from this whole game here that I really like. Everything else, like I said, both running backs is kind of in play. So, but I'm gonna keep it moving here. We got Green Bay and Washington. I think I got an injury report here though. Yeah, who is out of here? Okay, so cornerback for left side cornerback. Okay, so out wide cornerback for Washington is out. So that's going to put in play Lazard since he had mad targets last week and I mean just the last few games. And there's a lot of injuries. No Cobb, no Christian Watson. Like, of course, still no Sammy Watkins. So yeah, like he's going to get all the targets basically. Like we know that's who Rodgers trusts the most. I expect him to probably score a touchdown in this game too. Might get over 100 yards too. I expect him to be in play for one of his biggest games, really. Just because Washington gives up so much to receivers. Definitely think Lazard is going to be in play, for a huge game. Like, I just think he's going to have double digit targets. That's how I feel. Like, he's going to get the Cobb targets in this game. So, you add about 3 to 4 more targets to this and thinking about 13 to 12 targets or something like that. Yeah, I feel like he's catching 8 or something like that for 116 yards and a touchdown or something. So definitely feel like he's going to be in play now. Huge, because he lines out wide where their cornerback is going to be at. Dobbs, man, oh man, like it's so hard to take Dobbs because 8-8 and had a really good back to back, and then just went 5 targets. I get it, but 9 targets and then not coming through. That's too inconsistent to me. So it's hard to say he's going to have a good game because I know he's going to get these type of targets again. So it sucks to know that he can do this. And these were good defenses. So it's crazy that he did this to these defenses. And, the Jets and the Giants, I feel like the Jets, he should have had way more points. And he should have been able to catch these targets here. But I think, it's like he's in play for a huge game. But then at the same time, it's like you don't know. It's inconsistent. So I would rather just tell y'all to just go with Lazard on that play. But definitely Tanyan's going to be in play. I like Tanyan because his targets has went up. It's starting to show that Rodgers has seemed like he's trusting him more. He feels like he's probably getting back to form in his tight end day. So like I say, I can see him getting these type of targets again without no Cobb being in the middle of the field. Then that means Tanyan takes up those targets for the middle of the field for third down plays and stuff like that. That's probably where Rodgers going to look for him at. And definitely I think he probably gets another touchdown too in this game too as well. So on the other side of this game, I'm definitely not thinking Heineke is going to be a good play. Who I like on this side of the field though is Robinson. Definitely think he gets more touches. Well, he already has 17, which is great. But I think he goes up to like 20, being at home, being at Green Bay's giving up the rush. Maybe he hits over 100 yards and a touchdown here. So for 5,500, I think that's a really good play. At receiver, I don't really like anybody but maybe Curtis Samuel. Because Curtis Samuel, to me, could get a rush. He can get a rush attempt. I feel like his speed could kill, Green Bay if they do somehow target him still a lot like they was earlier in the season. And his targets are usually very short distances. I feel like he can take one to the house from, catching, short distances. Like kind of what like the Barrios did to Green Bay last week with the rush attempt. So I feel like he could be in play for something like that. I don't know if it's going to be a lot of fantasy points though for that, being that he might just only rush it and not catch a lot with Heineke playing at quarterback. But for 5,300, like, I don't know if he's really going to hit the 20 something fantasy points, but I do know, like, if he does get a rush attempt, he probably breaks, for a big play. It just depends how far they're doing it from, because I know the Barrios one was kind of like from the red zone. And like I said, it would then after that would depend on how many targets he's going to get with Heineke at quarterback. So, and then I know both of their tight ends might be out, so I don't think there's anything there. It's like the run game and Curtis Samuel is all I can think of here. Then we're going to move on to this Jets versus Denver game. Zach Wilson is losing a target, to throw the ball to. And it really sucks because, Elijah Moore looks like he wants to be traded. So it's really going to suck because, it narrows down his targets to Corey Davis, but we saw what Patrick Surtain was able to do to, Mike Williams? Took him out the game completely. So I feel like, Corey Davis will probably be taking out this game completely. And then it's going to leave them to throw the ball to Garrett Wilson. So he will probably be in play, for a lot of targets if Zach Wilson can throw enough, like right now he hasn't even been throwing enough. His connection's been off. So I feel like maybe Conklin is bigger in play, for him in this game with losing a weapon like Elijah Moore. We know Brees Hall should be in play for some dumps and rushing ability with his speed. But yeah, this is like an ugly game here. Russell, how he played. He hasn't really played good at home either. You go look at the home games. You're talking about 11 points. This is home game, 9, 12 points. Hasn't showed up at home. Actually seems to play better on the road to me. So I don't really think Russell's in play here. Both of these quarterbacks is in a position where their connection with their receivers isn't amazing. My best play here to me is the tight ends. I think Conklin and Dolchich again, like how I called Dolchich for the first game of him playing. I told y'all he'd probably do well. I feel like his targets go up. He was in a lot of the snap counts, mostly running routes and not blocking. So I really like him for this game, for 2,500, and that's really about it. Like I don't know. Like I know people want to take a shot at Sutton. You can go ahead and do that if you want to. Like it's just the connection with this quarterbacks. It's just not that good. So we're gonna keep it moving here. We got Houston versus the Raiders. Basically locking in Josh Jacobs for a huge game against the rush. Especially being at home too. I expect him to get 20 something touches. I expect him to get over 100 and something yards. I expect him to get 2 touchdowns. Like I really do. Maybe one in the pass, maybe one in the on the ground. But I definitely expect him to have a huge explosive game. So I definitely think locking him in is great. Damian Pierce still gonna be in play just because like with his speed. I don't know if y'all seen how he breaks tackles. He breaks for a long one almost every game so far, the last 3 games. So definitely feel like he's still in play. But at receiver in this game, we know Devontae is always gonna be in play. But fantasy wise points, I don't think Houston's really giving up that many fantasy points to receivers. But still got to say it's Devontae Adams, and if he's gonna get crazy amount of targets. Also, what I noticed is that he's taking a lot of the long deep shot plays too as well. So he can just hit on 2 of those, like as he did in this game, I believe too, where he hit on 2 of them. So we know he can do that and get you there to 30 fantasy points just like that, just in 2 plays and stuff. So it's crazy. But so definitely, I would say he's still in play. Especially with these other receivers banged up too, which is crazy because they're coming off a bye. I would think they would be more healthy. And then with no Waller too, yeah, Devontae Adams probably has a boatload of the targets and stuff, and moving around inside and out, this probably makes it tough for Houston to actually stay with him because he's probably gonna move into the slot. Yeah, I don't really think I would want any other receiving options here. Brandon Cooks is actually in play here because the Raiders are giving up fantasy points to receivers. It's just on like, is he going to get back to what we saw at the beginning of the season with these 12 to 10 targets? Like he could be in for a huge game if he can get back to that. So it's all on that because these 7 and 6, I mean, it's crazy. This is your number 1 receiver. He should always be at double digit. They don't have anybody else. So like, I don't know why he's not getting 12 to 10 targets, but if he gets that, I definitely could see him having a huge game in this game. Because Mills was supposed to be in play for a really good quarterback play, so stacking him with Cooks could be a good play, and running back still maybe Jacobs because they could just be down big, and they had to air it out to stay in that game. Let me move on though. Here we got Kansas City and the San Francisco 49ers. This game just became crazy. I had to, adjust lineups just for this game now because of the fact that getting Christian McCaffrey, man, we don't have word yet, still up in the air is what they're saying if he's going to even play Sunday. But I had to put in a few lineups with him now because we know how bad Kansas City is against the rush, man. Like they're very horrible, like very, very bad. I feel like if McCaffrey can pick up 10 plays, just 10 plays, y'all. Like to be out on that field about 10 times in this game, he could go off. That's all I gotta say. Like we haven't even seen a McCaffrey go off game yet. You know what I mean? Like, and I thought it was gonna happen last week, really. But I just feel like coming out the backfield, screenplay to McCaffrey, if he can pick up something like that, if he just picks up coming out the backfield, period, just catch the ball type of thing, type of play, he can get over 50 to 60 something yards just catching. I feel like if he picks up enough of the run game plays, and he's out there for at least about 5 attempts in running, he could go over 100 yards in just 5 attempts against Kansas City. So that's what's scary about this game. And I know Ian Rappaport reported that he expects him to be a part of, some red zone packages right here, y'all. So I just feel like Kansas City doesn't stop anybody, man. Their defense doesn't stop anybody. And I know Garoppolo isn't the best, but he's in for like a really good game for this game, where he should be able to get down the field, even with just Debo and Ayuk and stuff like that. And also Kittle is in play too. Like I said, it's tight end appreciation day. They got two tight ends playing each other. Who invented the day, I believe. I think it's Kittle who invented that day. So, it's just like he has enough weapons to get down the field multiple times. My thing is that I know Shanahan is going to have some type of packages for McCaffrey when they get to that red zone, like Ian Rappaport reported. And even if he just in there just as a distraction, because of the fact that they're playing Kansas City and you got to put up touchdowns. Like you cannot get field goals. So I'm like, McCaffrey could get 2 rushing touchdowns. And like I say, be a part of about 5 to 10 plays still after that. After getting 2 goal line rushed in touchdowns in this game. And he already going to have like 14 points fantasy or something. And then he catches, they put him in for a screenplay and he takes that to the house for 50 yards or something. Like just off of like 5 to 10 plays, man, I feel like he could still go off. Being this is a late game too, man, it just made it more scarier. So it makes me also think Garoppolo became more in play because of that. This team about to be crazy now. You talking about I thought Miami was the best team, the yak team, you know what I mean? Yards after the catch team. But now this has became the best team to me. And also like Garoppolo now, like, cause they're all about the yak. That's all they're about here. So this is the Garoppolo yak stack now. Like, and it's probably gonna be in play almost every week from here on out. And it's gonna be tossing in McCaffrey, with Garoppolo and Debo, man. Debo right here. Like, this is gonna be the yak stack. Like the Garoppolo yak stack, I'm calling it. Like Garoppolo only gets great fantasy points when he dumps it off to players that take it to the house for him, for 50 something yards. And so now these 2 players that he has, like this just seems like, man. I mean, being that he's so cheap too, like tossing in this stack right now, like as a gamble, I know because we don't know how much McCaffrey gonna be involved in things like that. But it just feels like this is big in play, man, because Garoppolo is so cheap and these pay up options, like you can get all of this and you can still run back somebody. Because on the other end, Pat Mahomes, man, this is gonna be an explosive game, y'all. Pat Mahomes plays really good on the road. Let me see what we got here. Tampa Bay, we saw 24. Colts, I mean, he was down in this game, so it was crazy. This is weird that he was even down and only ended up with 18. But he shows up on the road, man. So, and coming off of a terrible loss here, like it was a heartbreaking loss here because it looked like he was going to go down the field and be able to maybe win the game late. I feel like they're going to come back, with vengeance here in this game. Repeat of the Super Bowl too. So you got to know San Francisco going to want to win this game. But I could just see Pat Mahomes still lighting them up, especially the fact that in this game we have a lot of injuries, I believe, right? We know both cornerbacks is out for the San Francisco 49ers. I believe Eric Armstead is not going to play, but Bosa might play. He was questionable at practice, but it looks like he might push through and play. So they'll have a little bit of pressure maybe going to Pat, but besides that, I mean, Pat could light it up with any of his receivers, basically. We already saw how he got it going with Juju last week. So Juju's probably going to be in play for a big game. Hardman got a touchdown. MVS, like I told y'all with MVS, the only thing about him is that contested catches is hard for him to make. But I don't really feel like it's going to be that contested this time because he going against some backup cornerbacks on both sides of the field. So no matter where he lines up, I feel like he might just blow past the cornerback. Like I just feel like he could do that in this game with Pat extending the play or something like that, and he'll be down the field wide open. This is an explosion, like a very explosive game right here, y'all. Like I said, just because McCaffrey just changed everything, y'all. He really changed everything. So this could be a huge game, and it's a late game, man. It's just crazy. But like I said, this is gonna be a full stack game. I don't even care who you roll with, like at quarterback. Like this just feels like a full stackable game. And this stack really might be needed, period, to win it all. But I'm gonna keep it moving here. Of course, I'm gonna say too, Kelsey definitely gonna be in play because we know the amount of touches he getting. If I'm talking about an explosive game and a shootout, we know he's gonna be part of probably getting a touchdown in that game. And if not, we still see the double digit targets and getting over 100 yards. Definitely got to be in play there for that. But it this definitely feels like a crazy, like what we saw the score on Thursday night. This is probably something like that without being I don't think it'll be defensive though at all. So let me move on to the next game here, y'all. We got Seattle and the Chargers here. Um Chargers is weird to me. I believe they reported this on, what was that, Monday night when they played. They're having a hard time in the red zone. I think they're one of the low like last place or something like that in the red zone or something like that. It's pretty crazy. I'm shocked because I just feel like they've been scoring a lot lately to me. But I guess it's just Eckler, because I see right here, like, Justin Herbert didn't throw a touchdown that game, only threw one this game, two against Houston, and we know one of those was to Eckler, and so it just feels like it's Eckler, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, and at home too, like just 14-9, like it's kind of crazy. And I feel like he's in play. Like that's why I said this week is kind of crazy, y'all, because this game to me feels like a shootout. Like easy. If I'm just looking at it, I don't know nothing about, Herbert struggling in the red zone. I'm just thinking like, oh, he putting up 3-4 touchdowns against Geno, and Geno, the way Geno's been playing, airing it out, throwing 3-2-2 touchdowns here, and these are on the road too, here, like he's airing it out really well on the road, putting the pressure on you to have to score 3-4 touchdowns. I think, yeah, Herbert gotta show up. He gotta show up and he gotta score touchdowns in this game. But we do know that means Eckler is going to probably be the main person now, that especially with Joshua Palmer being out, which he's one of their red zone options that they throw the ball to. Mike Williams is going to be huge in playing this game. I don't feel like Seattle, I know one of their cornerbacks is a rookie, and he's starting to look pretty nice, getting an interception. I think most of the last few games, like if you go here, I think they had an interception almost every game for the last, last 4 games, and I believe it's the rookie like almost every time. So but I mean, you just keep the ball away from him, basically, you know what I mean? Like, just don't throw the ball that way. And I feel like, Mike Williams could just line up on the other side and get off, so definitely I just feel like Mike Williams is in for a huge game, coming off of playing Patrick Surtain, who shut him down. I don't feel like he's going to get shut down in this game. Also, I feel like Everett, good thing he got healthy, in time, because I think he was sick or something like that. Yeah. To play his, his team he was just with last year, they probably didn't want to pay him or something like that. So I feel like he's gonna want to stick it to him. I think he's gonna be huge in play now, though, especially with Palmer not being there, because I had Everett instead of Palmer on that showdown, and he started off really good. He started off playing better than Palmer, but at the end they just started going to Palmer over and over because Mike Williams was getting shut down, being covered by Patrick Surtain the whole game. So, and then double covered over the top too as well. So Palmer had the easier matchup. Now, it looks like Keenan Allen might be held out because they have a bye the next week, and Keenan Allen even mentioned that he would actually like to kind of like probably sit out one more game if he could, so that he can come back even more healthy off of 2 weeks, of being able to rest. So I feel like DeAndre Carter is gonna be huge in play, and definitely Everett, all those plays there, and it just feels like Eckler, like definitely Eckler goes back to playing like the slot position, which we seen him play every week. You know what I mean? Like he's catching 16, 7, 8, 10. He's getting all the targets that Keenan Allen would get. If Keenan Allen is not able to go, then he's going to get those targets still. So Eckler is going to be big in play. And it's kind of hard because of the fact that we got Eckler and now we got McCaffrey at the same price area and things like that. I mean, but Eckler, I would say go with Eckler just because he knows most of the plays. But it will depend on too if Keenan Allen doesn't play or not. Because if Keenan Allen randomly just gets in, becomes activated and ready to go, then it's going to take away some of those targets that Eckler's been getting. But if he's not playing, Eckler is going to be having the most explosive game. I still love Mike Williams because of the fact that Geno makes you have to score the ball. Like, you have to score. You cannot have red zone problems. So otherwise, you're just going to get blown out. So then Geno is just going to be in play with his side of the field over here with Metcalf and Lockett. Like, we just gotta see. I think Lockett's gonna play though, y'all. So Lockett and Metcalf is always in for the biggest plays that are on their team. Also, I want to say though, Noah Fant is starting to be more involved, as you see right here, 5 to 7 targets. It seems like he's probably picking up the the playbook more, so they're getting him out there running routes like we thought Noah Fant was gonna do. We didn't think it was gonna be Disley, and I feel like he's in play though for a touchdown. We already saw the rookie Dolchich get a big 40-yard touchdown last week. I think Noah Fant could be in play for a touchdown in this game. But who I really like is Kenneth Walker. Both of these running backs, man, this is crazy because this game has like you usually don't pick two running backs in one game, but both of these running backs are big in play for this game, like for an explosive game. Um, Kenneth Walker, we already know, has a 4.340 speed. Playing the Chargers, who we know gives up big long rush attempts, big break rush attempts. Like they're one of the worst tackling teams, so like they always miss tackles and things like that. And it's just like I definitely feel like he runs a 50-yard touchdown or something like that in this game. Not only I feel like he should be more a part of the pass catching too as well. He might break one for a big one there too as well. But I definitely feel like Kenneth Walker's in for his first 100-yard game in this game, and a touchdown, which is going to put him to 20 something fantasy points for 5,800. This game is also, like I said, these last two games are going to be scary, y'all. And this is why, like I try to tell y'all, like I can see this week, man, being super explosive, and like I'm thinking it's gonna be. I don't even think we have seen a 280 score needed, but that's what I think is gonna win it all this week. So I just want to let y'all know that, and that's why like I'm like telling myself like, yeah, I'm probably not gonna enter in the million this week, man, just because I feel like I need to get more into the smaller plays so I can really get a feel of everything. And try to, if I could come up with my best lineup with using these new notes and things that I'm trying to do this week, then I might still enter in one at least millionaire week, for this week. But man, I'm telling y'all, I feel it like it's gonna be like a 280 needed to win it all. Not, I know it's usually 250s and some. I mean, we already had the week, the very low week where it was like 220. I think 222 won it all, but most of the time it's usually about 250, 240. This week is setting up to be a 280, y'all. Like definitely like a 280. It's just, and then also what I want to mention too, I didn't notice that it's 4 games here, y'all, late. Like, I told y'all the last 2 to 3 weeks we've been having only 3 games, and most of the times only the 2 1s and 130 basically game, right? But this week we got 4. So I want to say we haven't seen a 4 at all, y'all. We haven't seen a 4 late game at all on the slate. So we had like 5 or something like that, I believe, the week 1s and 2s when it wasn't a bye yet, but this one, man, it just got this feeling like the late, it's gonna be like a late hammer coming through like right here. Like it's just too much, man, of fantasy points I can see coming out of these games. Maybe not so much here, but definitely these 3 right here, could be some big fantasy points coming here, man. And like, so what I'm trying to say is that we've been seeing where I told you like somebody at like 55 to 4,500 was only needed, maybe one player, needed at that range. Man, it looks like, 5,500 range, man, right now, like, and it was only one player needed. But like I said, that was with 3 games. And then last week, I thought we had 2 players at that range. So, and it was 3 games. So, but most of the time it has been 1. But now we got 4 games. I think that means it's definitely probably about 2 to 3 people going to be needed late, y'all, to win it. So when y'all making your lineups, just know that, like, try to maybe get that in there, man, because I really feel like that should help y'all win, because you're going to have, like I say, okay, we already know you want to have somebody, like, I would say, like, the chalkiest person should be, where's he at? Jacobs, right? At 6,500 here. You probably definitely want to have Jacobs just to try to cut off the field, because if you're already winning or all your stuff is hit for early and things like that, or if you just got a late stack or things like that, you know what I mean? Like, you're going to want to cut off the field to beating you, right? And everybody knows everybody's going to have Josh Jacobs. So you can definitely do that to try to cut off the field. But you also still going to probably need about 2 other players, y'all. Like 2 other players, man, to really just keep it ticking away to beat everybody, because somebody else is definitely going to have at least one more other player other than Jacobs in this week, just because it's just too much fantasy points that can come out of these games right here. Way too many fantasy points. Like I said, I'm thinking like 280, y'all. So we'll come back on Monday and we'll see how right I was. But I really do feel like this is going to be that week where you got to have everybody explosive in your lineup to win it all. So, but it's your boy Jaystar, man. I hope y'all enjoyed that full strategy show slate, man. I hope I hit on everything, all the cornerbacks and things like that. Which, oh, my bad. I did miss one. Kansas City cornerback in the slot is out. So that's gonna put huge in play once again for the slot, because last week it was Diggs, because he moves in and out to the slot, but that's Debo Samuel, y'all. So just want to let y'all know Debo is gonna be huge in play for a huge game because the slot cornerback is out, and I know that's where he lines up at, 100% almost of the time on this team here. So definitely Debo is gonna be in play, y'all. Just want to say that too. But it's your boy Jaystar, man. I'm out, y'all. Peace. Good luck.